Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boys from For Those With Good Taste. I'm Matt. He's Lenny.
Not to be confused with the TV detective from Fox in the 2005s.
Man, you're really pulling off that shirt.
Thanks, man.
And after a long time away, we're back together in the studio because we missed each other and we missed you.
Yeah, man, absent, it does not make my heart grow fonder because I want to just be right up next to you guys every single week. And this week, fuck, do we have a good one for you. I am telling you, it might be the best one yet.
We've got a ton of content in today's episode of Good Taste Weekly. And then later on this week, you can catch the boys on Hey Archer Live this Thursday at 8 p.m. It's the best place to find us.
It's at 5 p.m. Pacific time as well.
Ooh, Pacific Standard?
Yes.
Ooh, tune in because Good Taste Weekly is getting a little weird today. Get ready because it's happening right now.
Bring that same weirdness on fucking Thursday. Keep an eye out, Archer.
All day, every day.
Coming for you. All day. Booker T voice.
For those with good taste.
Lenny, if I had to think about how I would describe this past weekend, I would say everything that was supposed to happen happened, but not in the way I would have thought it happened. You know what I'm saying?
Is this like deja vu?
You could say that. It's like deja vu, but things are a little bit different.
Okay.
You know? Like
Flips
it's
upside
not
down.
it's not quite Denzel Washington. It might be like Chris Rock.
Are we in the Spider-Verse?
Ooh, we're in the multiverse.
Okay, cool.
I think that's the same thing. Are they the same thing?
Yes.
Depending on which universe you're in.
That's a good point.
Because if you're in DC, the multiverse isn't the same as it is on the Marvel side of things.
Big facts.
Huh.
We should keep talking about Marvel later.
Yeah, we'll jump into that. But how was your weekend, buddy?
It's not even just the weekend, Matt. Like, we have not... So, we have and we haven't. So, you know...
Should we break down a timeline for the people?
Yeah, we can do that. So, we recorded now, it would have been 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
If you have a date, Matt, I don't know if you can think about what date that might have been.
I mean, I got a calendar.
10/14, I'm just going to say for...
No. I don't think it was that long ago. I'd say 10/19.
10/19, yeah, that's right. Okay,
10/19.
so 10/19... Was it 10/19? What's today's date?
Today's the 9th. Oh, no, so it would have been... 2 weeks ago would have been the 26th.
Sweet. Okay,
There
so
we
the
go.
26th we were in here. We recorded a nice episode. Real great. Funny enough, for anybody who's not aware, who just watches us on YouTube, the audio to that episode is actually available. It went up very late, but it has some really cool stuff on there. Season 4. Space. We talked about space.
Man.
Talk about space on there.
That one got a little bit weird for a little while, but
Yeah, so
we
that
got it back.
that happened. But what you may not know if you're not on the East Coast is there was a storm. Would that be classified? Is that like a hurricane, a nor'easter? What's the weather?
At this point, I'm calling it a typhoon.
That doesn't seem to qualify.
No, why not?
Typhoons are in the ocean?
Possibly,
Is that true?
but we're surrounded by the ocean.
No, but we're not in the ocean. I'm serious. Is this like are typhoons in the...
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I actually was trying to think about all the storm names for like the Nerf water guns that we used to have back in the day.
Okay.
So like they'd have the tsunami,
I do remember that.
and I knew that wasn't it because I know tsunamis are mostly on like the coast or of like an island.
Tidal waves, tsunamis,
Yeah.
those are generally, I don't know if they have to be on an island. I think they could happen like the shores of Japan.
You know what,
But I
man?
feel like what would you say, a typhoon?
I said a typhoon.
I feel like that's like a vortex of water in the middle of the ocean.
Well,
Looks like it.
it's a mature tropical cyclone that develops between 180 degrees and 100 degrees east in the northern hemisphere.
Which hemisphere are we in?
We're in the western hemisphere. Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
We're in the west, dude.
All right. And like, does
You
it
start
say...
trusting me, man.
So it can happen on shore.
Yeah.
A typhoon can happen on shore. So what's in the northern hemisphere?
Like Norway.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Now you're just making that up.
Scandinavia.
I 100% know. Because Norway's not correct. Did you see the Eurofighter Typhoon thing further down on the page? I know you didn't because you don't actually read the whole page. You never read the whole page.
All right, man. Well, is the half of Earth that is north of the equator for the northern place. Yeah, so i.e. Scandinavia, Norway.
But would they say we're
Sweden.
north of the equator, right, Matt? So you said we were in the western hemisphere, but aren't
Yeah.
we north of the equator?
Dude, listen, man. I could go into look Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, China, France.
I do see Norway on there. You're right.
Like, come on, man. I nailed it.
Norway's on there, but the United States also is.
No, I'm pretty sure.
No, it definitely is.
No, it's not.
Oh, god damn. Excuse my
French. U.S.
French.
in the Western Hemisphere. North America, South America.
But can you also just
islands
go back to the thing where
water.
it said it was in the Northern
No,
Hemisphere?
man, because then you'd be right. And at this point, I'm right. But we digress, people. So there
we
was
got
a
hit with
typhoon.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have the support needed by the electric companies and the internet companies
Maybe, you know what the problem
to
is,
publish
Matt?
our shit.
We spent a whole year riffing on Netflix.
Yeah.
This year,
We're coming
is
after
what-
the cable companies.
this is what 2002 is going to be.
Careful with that,
2000.
buddy.
Whoa.
Especially with that shirt.
No,
You
but
better
it
be
came from
careful.
here, dude.
I know. Sometimes it can
Salute to the
always come
troops.
from there, dude. It's all about the height on that. Careful.
Ball in. So, I think we should just riff for 2022. Let's just be riffing on Xfinity, dude. Let's
Yeah.
come at Cox Cable for a second.
I'm about that, dude.
Let's hit them up, Mel. Let's go after RCN.
You want to put them out of business, dude?
Yeah.
I'm about it. We could do that.
I think that the only way to watch TV is with either a satellite dish or a thin thing that you put behind your TV. That's
No,
called
dude,
an antenna.
satellite TV is overrated. Because if you're in a Typhoon, dude, you're not getting any TV.
You know what's crazy, Matt, is before video games, they used to just have little kids play a game where they held up like the arms of antennas to get TV stations.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was the easiest way to get your kid electrocuted.
yeah,
You know what I
trying
mean?
to get rid of a
I'm
shitty
trying
kid.
to watch the game on Monday night.
Yeah.
Hey, Timmy, go over there and hold those wires.
Go up on the roof, move the antenna.
Get up in there, boy. I'm upstairs. Sorry.
Yeah, but you're fooling yourself into thinking people in the South have fucking money for cable, buddy.
Well, those are the only people I think that still have satellite dishes on top of their trailers.
No, dude, apartment complexes. You ever just go by apartment complexes?
I know there's a lot of dish services out there, and you see those. It looks like there's a pile of them. There can sometimes be like 50 dishes on one building, and it's weird.
You ever drive through like we've doxed ourselves enough time on here, like Southie or something like that.
Yeah,
And you drive by
course.
like the triple deckers, and it's just you can see every cable solution they've had for the past 50 years.
Yeah,
of
you
my
can
life.
also see all the people that are stealing the
Yeah,
cable
yeah.
solutions from
You're
it.
like, oh, like there's like 6 different dish networks that were probably under every family
What's
member's
that light
name.
blue wire that's attached to it that's coming out of the side of that building? It's not legal. It's not set up. However, we are legal. We are set up, and we just couldn't get that episode out there, man.
Yeah, so we didn't have internet. A lot of people didn't have power. You know, sorry for them. I just was like screwed. You know what happened though? I didn't
so
know
much
where.
happened. We haven't even
like
scratched
this
the surface.
There's
yet.
a lot to get into. It's crazy.
Yeah.
This is a good thing about not being on for 2 weeks.
So much to talk about.
There's a shit ton to talk about. So you know what this led me to do though, Matt? I didn't have internet, right? So like I also don't have cable.
Did you read a book,
like TV?
dude?
No, I had power. Why the fuck would I read a book? No, I did a puzzle and I watched TV shows.
That sounds way more fun than reading a book. Books suck sometimes, dude.
So the good thing is, dude, it kind of forced me, since I normally rely on like streaming platforms for my viewing. It made me rely on
you broke out the DVD collection.
I broke back out into my old DVD collection, dude.
This is crazy. You've got a pretty sick DVD collection.
I do.
Dude.
Honestly, though, I really only did watch 2 things. So I bought Scream in 4K.
Nice.
And I watched that.
It's a solid choice.
I bought the Steelbook. It was awesome. I love the movie. I watched it with a podcast I listened to, did like a watch along. And
that's pretty cool.
I like lined it up.
I feel like that's the new way to watch like old movies and stuff.
So I didn't actually I've done it in the past and I do like it. I do like, it depends on what the banter is. Because like they used to do it all the time. Did you ever watch, it's really not that much different. Like the DVDs you bought in like the early 2000s, you'd watch the special features.
The behind
and
the
you'd
scenes
do like,
features.
they'd have the director and like the main actor doing commentary over it.
Yep.
It's been done forever.
It'd be really cool.
But so like I like that stuff because I want to gain like context and like hear people's opinions on things that are happening. So I was excited because the people who are doing it for Scream, one of them had never watched the movie before.
That's really awesome.
And it was kind of, you got to watch them try and figure out who the killer was, which was interesting. But like they weren't really listening to it with audio, so they weren't as invested into it as like I would want you to be. But you know, it's not for everybody. And like I'm sure there's like people who really liked it. I actually signed up for. I don't even want to get into it. Like I did like basically a Patreon to listen to that.
Oh, you paid a premium and didn't get the results that you thought you were gonna get. Oh,
so
that sucks.
The other thing, and this is, we'll just skip to like what I've been watching.
Sure.
So this is what I've been spending my past week
this
and
is
a
where it
half
gets
watching.
really juicy.
Yeah. So So I broke into my TV shows that I own on DVD.
Okay.
And I've talked
also
about
a very elaborate collection that you have there.
I think I talked about it on here, but I ended up watching Everwood.
Okay. No, I would know if you talked about Everwood.
So Everwood is the first like Chris Pratt TV show. Like, this is Chris Pratt before he was like hunky Hollywood, like
so you're saying
Dreamboat.
before he was on Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Okay.
Pre-Parks and Rec. So
Yeah.
it's him and it's Emily Van Camp, who is
I know Emily Van Camp.
she's also in Captain America,
Yep.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all that stuff. So it's both of their first like major roles.
Okay.
She goes on to do a bunch of TV shows like Revenge, Brothers and Sisters. Like she has a couple other long-standing TV shows. This is kind of their first one. It also has Treat Williams in it, who's like Deep Rising was one of my favorite like 90s action movies. And Gregory Smith, who is the kid from Small Soldiers, the main character.
Oh, no, Andy?
Was that his name in that?
Yeah.
It was Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's Gregory Smith is that guy, and he's the main character in this. So really good cast. You know how that is for me. Like normally that's one of the main drivers
Because
to
I
get
was
me
just
to
thinking, I
watch
was like,
things.
wow, he must be old. But then I'm thinking about when this show came out. I was
2000
like, no, this was like a couple of years after
This
the
is
movie
like
came out.
2002 to 2006, I think
Okay.
it ran. Yeah.
pretty sick.
Funny enough, I guess it got canceled when the ratings were still really good. They were surprised it got canceled. But it's kind of interesting. I wanted to watch something I hadn't watched in a while.
That falls right into that time where they started having like writers' strikes and stuff too, right?
That might be part
Probably
of it.
didn't
Yeah.
survive that because that happened to a lot of shows
Shortly
around that time.
after that was the writer's strike, because the writer's strike was more like close to the end of the 2000s, I'm pretty sure,
Really?
not mid 2000s.
Because you remember Heroes?
Stats? Can we get a look up real
Yeah,
quick?
I guess we can,
Heroes got taken away and came back.
No, I know, but they were still filming while there was the writer's strike going on, which is why some of those seasons
2007, yeah. Okay, so
really sucked. Yeah.
so
that
like
makes
this
sense.
was like right at the end, yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay, I mean, so good show to watch.
I've
Interesting to
seen it
see those
before,
people
like-
before they developed.
Yeah, well, you can definitely. I mean, I remembered it from when I watched it originally, and it's reinforced this time. Like Chris Pratt already has that like natural like aura about him, I guess, like that. You're kind of
X factor.
Yeah,
The
you
it
can
factor.
you can just see that he has a very like an ambiance. You can tell he's going to be a little bit more than what the show is.
You kind of got that
point.
from him in Parks and Rec
Yeah,
too.
steals. He's not in it all the time.
Steals the show when
he's
he
a
is.
supporting character, but when he's on the screen, you can tell there's something different about him. And
He's what Aziz Ansari wanted to be. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, on that show, Aziz was that. Do you think was Aziz kind of a factor of that the Me Too stuff was what killed him?
Yeah,
Was
I
that
mean,
what knocked his
So
career
interestingly
off?
enough, I recently, I would probably say maybe 2 weeks ago, while I was playing video games, I listened to the stand-up that he did after he got canceled, and where he addresses that, and he's like, you know, and it wasn't that he addressed what had happened, but he addressed the aftermath of being canceled, and it was really just kind of interesting because you then realize, like, it kind of hit him on multiple factors, because if you remember, one of his biggest jokes was, R. Kelly just keeps doing amazing things. And now we know the story of what's going down with R. Kelly. So with him, he like had two perspectives of, you know, you never really understand how you should act when you're in the spotlight because everybody kind of looks at everything that you do. And then somewhere along the line just kind of gets moved on some of your jokes and your comedy, and you're not really able to come back from it. Like, how can you expect me to evolve with the times, but you still hold me accountable for things that I did 10 years ago?
What do you think about? And I'm very choked up right now.
That's okay, dude.
I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, it's all right. You want to sip some?
No, I'm good.
Some water?
So what do you think about kind of the resurgence of Chris D'Elia? And not that we're gonna like take some like really serious note on
because
this,
that's
like,
you're also bringing up some pretty hot topics that I've been thinking about because Chris D'Elia was out for a year.
yeah. I mean, the
for the
past
most
2
part.
weeks, I've seen a lot more Chris.
He's
D'Elia.
everywhere now.
and I think it's not surprising the company that he's keeping. I do think it pulls a lot of questions. Like, I don't know the way I cut you off when I asked you
That's
the question,
okay.
but like Shaw, you know, I remember back to the video of him crying when it's like reaction to that.
He was distraught.
And now
He couldn't believe the news that he was hearing about his friend.
Yeah.
And now it's almost like,
I guess he's privy to different information that you or I are not. But
yes. And so on both fronts, right? With the Callan front too, we had always kind of felt like he knew something in the background that was going to make everything be okay. And then they've had the transition of him, like Brian Callen, being reintegrated into the show. You're talking about in recent weeks, you see Chris D'Elia everywhere. D'Elia's on Rogan. He's on the Fighter and the Kid. He's on the Fight Companion with
Was
them.
D'Elia on Rogan this past couple weeks?
I think he was, yeah.
See, I'm surprised he brought him on there.
So, and this is where...
But I guess that's like woke culture versus cancer culture.
This is where I'm... When you ask the question of, like, where do you... Like, what do I think of the resurgence of Chris D'Elia? I'm not surprised because that circle, the comedic circle, has a lot of figures that were affected by the Me Too movement. You've got people like Louis C.K., you've got...
Is it Louis or Louis?
Louis C.K., my bad. I'll always mess that up. You have Dave Chappelle, who's been in the limelight for the last couple of weeks because of the blowback from his recent special.
To be fair to the other side of this, though, like, all those accusations, and I'm currently monitoring it with, like, the Barstool stuff. I don't know if you saw what was going on with Portnoy right now.
I heard about that, yeah. And it's not the first time that they've... Like, something like this has happened.
They come after him all the time. And I heard an interesting perspective on Flagrant 2, the Schultz
Andy
podcast. Brought up an interesting fact that we can bring up in a second about that. But what I was going to say is, like, to be fair to D'Elia, there was a ton of stuff accused of him, but not much ever proven aside from he said, she said. And I think that's what, relating to the Portnoy stuff, is like, if anybody doesn't know, Barstool, there was a Business Insider hit piece written about them this past week. They'd known it was going to be coming up. They'd been interviewing people for the past 6 months, and it had almost come to the point, it was actually longer than 6 months, I think, but to the point where, like, they knew it was happening. They're like, why is it taking so long to come out? We don't know what the hit piece is about, but people had come to them and been like, hey, like, they were trying to get information from us. You come to find out that it's about, like, them building a case of Dave Portnoy being, like, a sexual predator.
Yep.
And Portnoy basically came right back at it, rather than, like, going and fading away into the background or anything like that.
It's not what he does. He usually leans into...
He came back at it, had receipts, like text messages, Facebook messages, Twitter DMs, like, whatever.
He had a paper trail, let's just say
so
that,
he
right?
had some stuff to back it up. And it's still not, like, gone, obviously, but, like, it's probably the most effective way I've seen to fight back. The interesting thing they brought up on Flagrant 2, though, is the reason that he is not getting canceled the same way that, like, a lot of these other guys do. And I think it is an interesting paradox to look at, like, a D'Elia who has maybe a similar fan base, but they were bringing up, or one of the guys on there was saying, Barstool is predominantly white male fan base,
the demographic.
Right? So Portnoy a year ago gets almost canceled for videos of him saying the N-word, like, rapping a song 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, not the best look. Is it the end of the world? Like, should we completely wipe
somebody? Should he lose his livelihood over something that he said, like, 10 years ago?
Rapping a song, like, dude, like...
Can you rap it if you pay for it?
That's it. Yeah, you own it now. But let's not talk about white people and ownership, Matt, so let's be careful. So they brought up that, and then they also brought up, now you're on this whole thing of, like
music. You own the
music. You bring up, like now it's like white kids in college and rape culture, and it's like, what side are they gonna kind of side from? And I was like, oh, it's an interesting perspective, because it's not wrong. Like, if the Barstool demographic was more black, would it be that he would have gotten canceled a year ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I went to the live show that a week ago, Barstool live show a week ago. It was fun. But I made a joke to the person that I was with. I was like, bro, you're going to be the only person in the crowd who's got a tan, even a tan, my man. just being honest.
But it is interesting, because at the end of the day, these guys are entertainers, right? They put out content. They put out content that is free content. It's not a thing that you're paying for, you're subscribing to. They do have some of that stuff. Great job, buddy.
I fucking got it.
Good job. That thing's been pestering us all day. When you...
Don't come after me, PETA.
I fall in line with if you don't want the person to put out content, you're asking for too much. If you don't want people to support them, again, you may be asking for too much, because we do live in a place where it's all about free will and taking in the content that you enjoy. If Chris D'Elia has a very large fandom that is okay with the allegations against him, they're okay with everything that he's been through over the past year. I don't have all the details. But if he came out scot-free and came out clean, who are we to judge him and say that he doesn't deserve to make a living? Now, am I going to be the first one to be like, hey, you guys need to all go buy tickets for Chris D'Elia? No, I'm probably not going to do that. But am I going to be the first one that's like, hey, don't go see Chris D'Elia because he was accused of grooming young girls until they turned 18?
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
that I don't win anything from that. You know
the
what
weird
I mean?
thing about about cancel culture, though, like or cancel, not cancel.
Okay, both of them are fucked.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
Well, and cancel culture is basically what cancel culture is, right?
Yeah,
It's just like
essentially
killing
canceling
America.
the cancel.
Like,
yeah.
I do think though that like it's turned into more of like a 1 year unpaid suspension from your job.
Yeah.
For the rich people,
Like a slap on the wrist.
it's like, hey, you already have $10 million in the bank, maybe even if it's $5 million. Like Kirstie Lea's got millions of dollars in the bank. Like, a lot of these other guys who have been Louis C.K. has millions of dollars in the bank,
And he's back on the road.
All they have to do is stop working for a year. And I know it's easy to say all you have to do, but when you have that kind of revenue behind you, it's not like me losing a job for a year.
You have a lifestyle, man.
Like they can exist for a while in the background in the shadows, just long enough to where their fan base, that their core fan base is going to stick with them. So now they can reemerge. And that's where it's like, is it even really worth it? You know, people should be held accountable, but like these like fucking... So the Barstool one's interesting because it's... And I urge people to look at it because I'm not like obviously going too in detail on it. But that Business Insider thing, like they put that shit behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's where you know, and that's why I say it's not the first time that they've faced things like this. Is the amount of times that they've tried to drive his stock down or drive the stock of Barstool down.
Stock that I'm heavily invested in.
Right. So imagine being involved in a government and a culture, a society that can, if they have a bad feeling or a bad inkling towards you, they can not only take your livelihood in the public, but they can go ahead and drive your stock down to make you lose money.
Mm-hmm.
How else is he supposed to fight this? And one of the things I admire about him, say what you will, is anytime that there's a scandal, he's the first one to jump in there like, hey, here's my side of everything. Here's my account of everything that's taken place. What do you have? Where's your evidence? And if you do have that evidence, let's bring it to light and let's get it out there. Because at the end of the day, that's all that we can really go by.
Well, so if you're not going to take a year off, I guess the best way you can come at anything is you need to make people make a choice. And he's relying on the credit and the clout that he's built, right? So like between doing the stuff during the pandemic with small businesses and to the fact that you're right, like every opportunity, whether his response to the rap song thing wasn't the strongest. It wasn't great, but he still responded.
But he put himself out there,
yes,
no matter what. He didn't get behind a team. He didn't get behind it
was his face out there talking.
It's always him out there. Even when he got caught with the sex tape,
mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, hey, we'd
yeah.
like to make a comment on said sex tape. You know, we know that the guy looked like a stud. You know, he was putting in work. Like he's getting out in front of it and he's leaning into it.
Good businessman.
Good businessman.
It's I'll let you go.
What I'm not okay with though is that when you listen to Shab or you listen to someone else talk about these people who are in these scenarios, they draw a line and they almost make it seem like you have to make a choice. And it's like your real fans will know the truth. Mm-hmm. Well, no, they don't. Your real fans will
choose to ignore maybe not the truth, because
maybe not even ignore it, but they'll choose to support you
mm-hmm.
because they're your fans. At the end of the day, when you say things like, oh, well, your fans will know the truth, don't put me in that box, because as someone who did support you, I don't know the truth. And I'm going to assume that since you're out about and you're free and you're touring again, that you didn't come out in the wrong. But I'm not going to be the person who's like, oh, he's the man, dude. He's the best person in the world. He got acquitted of all that, man. No, because we know how that works. OJ got acquitted.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody really think that he didn't do it? It's a completely different scenario, but it's similar when you talk about cancel culture.
I think the one thing we should always be applauded by, format, is somehow in the first 30 minutes of every episode, we find a way to get from like here to here to here. And it's like we were just talking about typhoons, and now we're talking about like...
Well, this whole situation's been a typhoon,
sexual assault.
No, so we'll wrap up the sexual assault talk with... it's been a long 2 weeks that we haven't been here.
Oh, we have more. Like we
haven't
I know. Scratched the surface on those 2 weeks.
So what I was gonna say was, it was funny that I was talking to someone and they're, I haven't seen them in a while, and they were like, "Yeah, how have you been, man? I haven't seen you." And I was like, "Yeah, I had the flu." And they were like, "Oh, well, I had corona." And I was like, "That's really cool."
Well, wait up, one up.
Well, the funnier part is they were like, "Well, I've never had the flu. What's that like?" And I was like, "No, bitch, like you've had corona and I've never had that.
Probably not that different, honestly."
What's that like?
Let's compare notes.
But, not being able to come in here in the studio last week due to getting sick, there was a lot that went down that we didn't even get a chance to really jump in and talk about. But, when you think about 2 weeks not being able to get here, get in front of the camera, it's crazy when you think that in those 2 weeks, I've seen more Chris D'Elia than I have of you.
It's gross. Was he in your DMs?
It's weird, dude.
He was grooming you when you were like 35? Or?
It's weirder when you think, oh, he's working on his next special. Because when he got shut down or when he got canceled, it was on the back of his new special coming out with Netflix.
So is it just the same special and you're just going to get it out
there?
No,
or? So that special's still on Netflix. They buried it in the algorithm. It
wasn't good though, right?
What I didn't like
I don't like him, actually. I think he looks like a greaseball, and I don't think his specials are funny.
So he is funny. In this one, they played too many laugh tracks. So after everything that he said, it'd be like a setup. He'd be like, so I'm at the mall the other day.
Yuck.
And I'm here drinking my coffee with Bobba balls in it.
But are comedy specials supposed to have a laugh track?
They're not, but you'd be surprised how many do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A lot of them?
I've taken a lot of comedy, dude. And
I know you. No, I believe you.
That's what you realize with some of the really good. So Bill Burr, I'll always put him up there on my Mount Rushmore of comedians. You won't hear, you'll hear the laughs, but you barely hear the laughs. And then when you hear him interview, he's like, no, I don't do audience shots, and I also don't like put their audio through because that takes away from what I'm doing. Yeah. Like you'll feel the need to laugh because you hear other people laughing rather than being able to take in the content.
Yeah, but that's like a weird thing because I equate it to like wrestling. Like it's like wrestling in the Thunderdome versus having like fans on Monday Night Raw. It's sure. Like, part of what makes like a comedy show so great is laughing with the people around you too.
It's not so that they don't have the laugh track, but it's not obnoxiously loud.
Yeah.
Whereas if you watch D'Elia's recent special from last year, within the first 5 seconds, he's like, so I'm doing comedy at a laundromat, and it's freaking and you're like, okay.
Well, the crowd shots thing is interesting because I always think that, like, sometimes to me, do you ever watch like the old Kings of Comedy?
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Like the crowds in those, or like old Chris Rock and stuff like that. Like those crowds are so funny.
It's hilarious
because it's like, especially the Kings of Comedy one, because it was in the era of like big suits, so people were in like really large outfits there. Like
you see the guys,
these big guys tucked in, like they're all large men from the South tucked into these tight little chairs.
Yeah. It's hilarious, man. Even the ones like I think of Chris Rock where he did Bigger, Blacker. Mm-hmm. Like there are people in the audience that have like the seizure where you're like. And you're just going back and forth. And you're like,
when they catch a good one and a guy's like jumped out of the chair.
Oh man, they're just doing the arm thing. But
you're right, Chris, you're right.
But it does make you wonder. Like I think we take in comedy a little bit differently now, right? Because when you're watching comedy, could you stand through a comedy hour now, or would you rather do a comedy half hour?
What, like live?
No, like streaming on Netflix or HBO.
I think I'm a tough person to ask because it's like it would, for me, I'll do an hour with the best of the best comedians, and it depends on what type of comedian you are, as you would know, Matt. Like if you're a storytelling comedian and you can hold my attention, I'd love to do a whole hour of listening to you tell stories. But if you're just a punchline comedian, like I probably want a half an hour of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like if it's a Joe Rogan, I could probably go for an hour. Mm-hmm. But if it's like Anthony Jeselnik.
No idea who that is.
So he's the guy who just does dead baby jokes, and it's freaking hilarious all the time. He'd probably be somebody I'd have to do for an hour.
So a couple minutes ago, Matt, where I made that joke about us being like, this getting a little dark?
Yeah. Are we going to get darker?
What if I wanted to make it
bigger, blacker?
A bit darker.
Okay.
Let's start with some light, though. So, and like I won't go too far into detail, but I've gotten like a new job of sorts, right?
Oh, I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to be the one to put it out there.
Like, and I won't say more than that about the job itself, but like I've gotten a new job, right? And
we're on to new pastures, baby.
And I was driving to my new job on my first day. This was literally 2 days ago. I'm driving to work on my first day.
We talking about bad omens?
Yes. And so. As one would do, like I was going into this like it's my first day of school, right? So like I've been nervous for like 2 days.
Couldn't sleep the night of.
I got a haircut. I ordered new shoes.
You look good, dude.
Thanks, man. I ordered new shoes.
You changed, by the way.
You're
a new person.
I got new pants.
I don't know who the hell you are anymore.
I was wearing everything new. I was nervous to go make new friends. Like I was walking into this whole new environment.
Back at lunch?
No, fuck no. Funny side note. I hope no coworker I have now ever listens to this. I won't eat. I'm not going to eat before or during work.
You're so stupid.
Because I don't have to take a shit. So,
Hashtag new connections.
Yeah, I have to like become comfortable there before I can just go shitting, you know? So anywho, I leave for work. I'm driving there. It's a longer drive than what I had before. So like I have to go a whole different direction than what I'm used to. And I'm driving, Matt. Pull up to a light. In the rear view, I see like a fire truck coming up the rear, you know?
Coming up my rear.
Coming up my rear.
It's already a bad sign.
So pull over to the side, let him go by. The light turns green, obviously, when that happens. I hop into the lane behind where the fire truck was going, because there's nobody else in it. I'm like, let's cruise. He pulls immediately off into the left in the little plaza, like not even into the plaza, like up onto the curb in the plaza. And I'm getting a phone call at the same time. So I go to answer the phone, literally hit answer. I look to my left, and it's like plaza, parking lot, some like shrubbery and like, you know, sod on the ground and like some landscaping stuff. And in between two bushes, there is a man just laying on the ground with a fucking paramedic on top of him, just CPRing the shit out of him.
Oh, he's dead.
Dead.
Oh, shit.
Dead. So I answer the phone, look to my left, all in one fell swoop, and the person on the phone's like, hello? And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I was like, I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry. I need a minute.
Can I call you back?
I know I left him there. I left him on dead silence. I was like, I think I just saw a guy die. Because I was driving to work on my first day of work, and I saw a man dead on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah, because listen, if you're getting you're getting CPR
Dude,
done on you,
you're
not alive.
It was like aggressive CPR. This
like,
was like he's been dead for minutes CPR, and we need to really.
Like, this is our last ditch effort.
What's a movie where
clear?
I was gonna what's a movie where the person's like so desperate to get them to come back to life? Oh,
Outer Banks, baby,
dude. Yeah, John fucking B, dude.
He beat the shit out of that girl. Yeah, that was assault.
Yeah, John B fucking destroyed her chest.
Oh, dude,
FYI,
another one that I think.
FYI, sad note. They broke up.
No.
Yeah, do you know that?
Don't fucking tell me that.
Madison Klein and Madeline Klein.
He's not even.
Madeline Klein and John B.
That's why she hasn't been on social media that much.
She's been on a little, but not with any relationship.
It's been very...
Chase Stokes, that's his name.
No, dude, I ship them.
I did too. No, trust me.
I just shit my pants hearing that news.
I'm questioning what's the bigger deal. I should have brought this up for the dark news rather than the dead guy.
Well, next time lead with that. God damn it, dude. But no, I would imagine that's probably the worst sign that you could ever get, because you're like, all right, so I've already seen a man die. And now I have to go meet people.
You know, on the positive side, you're like,
PTSD.
You can only go up from here.
Yeah.
I also told my coworkers within like 5 minutes that I just saw a dead guy.
No, you got to set the right expectation.
Yeah, I was just like,
hey, if I look stone-faced right now, it's because I just drove by a dead guy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, hey, really weird start to my day. Hope you don't take this the wrong way, but there was a dead man I drove by.
I need to know from the people, is there a weirder omen than seeing a dead guy on your way to work?
All things considered, the first day didn't go too bad, with that being said.
Well, because the expectation was already set that it was going to go really well after that, dude.
Yeah.
It couldn't have gone any worse than that dude's day.
Yeah, I don't know. So I've only seen... How many dead people have you seen in your life? Is this a weird conversation?
This is going to get real weird, dude.
This is a weird one. We can segue if we don't want to do this.
I mean, I'll give you a number, but then I'm only going to hope that you can take this conversation somewhere else.
I have two that are immediately coming to mind for me. This past week.
I've seen probably 8 dead bodies.
Yeah, I think I've seen more, but there's just 2 distinctly that are...
No, those 8 are freshly. I'm talking the last 10 years I've probably seen 8 dead bodies. Yeah.
Natural causes or
car accidents.
Yeah. Okay, so that's fair. I have seen some but you know what the thing is, man? I guess I haven't gotten a really good look at the car accident ones, but I've seen some really gross. Man. Yeah.
And so I make I'm the person that's like, all right, let's get this traffic movie. Nothing to see here, people. But then I'm also the person like, oh shit, I gotta fucking that picture real quick. Nobody's gonna believe this.
Yeah, no, you're doing that. I normally do this because I want them to see.
No, see, I don't want to be the person in it. Because maybe I should now, right?
Yeah, no, it's cool, dude. It's really cool. Especially when the car's on fire behind you, dude.
How many times have you seen that?
Oh,
Way too many times.
Bunch.
Dude.
I'm just really fortunate. You know what? I'm always really grateful for, and this is like no cap. Really, really grateful for. I've never broken down on the highway.
Oh, dude, peace up, A-Town down.
Yeah,
never happened to me too.
That's a big deal.
That's the only time that's happened to me. First year I started the job where we met.
Mm-hmm.
The Jetta.
Yeah.
Jetta, you remember
I
that
remember the
freaking
Jetta.
car,
I
dude.
do remember
That
the
car was
Jetta.
a demon.
Yeah.
I was only stuck on the road for an hour because the AAA lady was a complete idiot.
Only an hour, but she's an idiot.
Not to say that women can't be AAA agents, but
women can't drive cars, so why are they doing AAA?
But had she just listened to reason, I could have been there for maybe 20 minutes. But I digress, man. Not the only car that's been set on fire in the last week, so to speak.
Nothing is honestly to me more uncomfortable than the times my cars have died. And until recently, I've had all like old used cars. Yep. So nothing is more uncomfortable than being in an intersection and your car just shuts off.
Yeah.
You have never wanted to die more in your life than that moment, as cars are like slamming on the horn behind you, and you're like, dude, what do you want me to do?
That's the moment where you're like, everybody's laughing at me.
Well, because people are so mean.
Everybody
people are legitimately
right now.
very mean.
Do you think I want to be here?
Exactly, dude. Like, I want to go
somewhere. This is inconvenient for all of us.
Did I get in my car today, pull up to this intersection, and just say, I want to sightsee? I'm going to stop here.
Yeah,
no, motherfucker. I got in my car to drive somewhere just like you did.
Did it get any weirder after that?
The dead people thing?
Yeah, because I'm going back right now, and I'm like, dude, we've spent so much time just talking about the last 2 weeks, and I feel like it's only been like a week.
Yeah. No, I think that's like...
Does that wrap it?
That's mostly the cap on like... It's funny, we were doing like our little pre-production, and I was like, dude, I actually have just mostly topics that have nothing to do with...
That's what we do now, dude. I don't give a shit. I just like, you were like, hey, we're not doing this for this long.
Oh, we're like, pushing. We haven't even scratched the surface of actual topics.
Probably going to go longer. But no, so let's maybe fast forward a little bit, and we'll bring up the other weird shit that happened as we go along. But this past weekend was kind of jam-packed. So new pastures ventured in the personal aspect of things. But from a entertainment aspect, we had probably the fight of the year or second fight of the year as far as expectations for boxing. And then probably one of the more stacked cards that we've seen in some time from the UFC on UFC 268.
Yes, on both fronts. However, I do think it's a bit unfair to the UFC because they've done a really good job post-pandemic of like every numbered pay-per-view. Not to say that
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is stacked in the sense that it's essentially it's a 2-title fight, but one of those fights very easily could have been a main event on any other card, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it kicked off the card.
But I just mentioned like crazy. That because like
no, you're
269 right. Coming up is big. You've had like Nick Diaz was on the last card, third from the top, and even though he was on it, like to be fair to the UFC, that's where they've excelled more than boxing. Over years now, but definitely. But I saw Luke Thomas say this is the best that combat sports have been ever, probably. Like the fact that you could have this weekend that much high level fighting going on. I missed Canelo Plant. I didn't actually get a chance to watch it because they normally do a good job when they book these types of things of.
Notice how I put my finger like this? Because I was literally like, I'm not going to say what I was going to say because you're about to say exactly what I was going to say.
And it's funny, Nate Diaz was the one who tweeted out the picture.
Really?
And he's like, he tweeted it out in the middle of the main event for 268.
Snitched on Dana?
And he snitched on, he wasn't even a snitch. He just called out the fact that how come Canelo's not waiting for this main event? Yeah. And it showed, you remember the picture of Canelo on the couch?
When they delayed their fight for an hour and a half waiting for the UFC.
Diaz. Yep. Yeah. And I thought it was really interesting. It is interesting. And I expected Canelo Plant to be happening after the main event. So I
Do you know why?
Even think to click over. Why?
Who was the main event in the UFC?
Colby Covington.
Who else?
Kamaru.
Who's been the talk of the next MMA boxing clash?
Is it really Canelo and Kamaru though?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
So that's been the pitch. No. So that's been what everybody's been wanting, right? And that's where everybody's like, oh, Kamaru wants to go into boxing and challenge Canelo. First of all, don't do that, dude. Terrible decision. But I think what this is Canelo and his team being like, this is how many people showed up for my fight to pay for pay-per-view and watch. You were on a stacked card where you probably weren't even the best fight. And here's what your pay-per-view numbers were.
You deleted everything.
No shit.
That's the one thing I will talk about with the fights, because I don't want to go crazy in detail because we don't want to go all day.
We also don't have enough time. Yeah.
Exactly. So I will say this about Canelo. Not Canelo. Kamaru. Interesting, their names are not that far off. But Kamaru is great if he throws a 1-2. Like, if Kamaru just threw a beautiful jab and threw a beautiful straight right hand, or he leads with his jab, right?
Kamaru's got
he leads with his right hand.
He's got
right?
no foot movement. Because he's got terrible knees.
He's very stiff, and his hooks are powerful, but they're not smooth. Like, there's no like real. He doesn't look like a fluid striker, and that's no offense to him.
He's evolved.
Yeah.
So he was a heavy wrestling guy when he first started in the UFC. His striking has gotten a lot better. He's been training with Trevor Whitman, who got a lot of shine on this card.
I mean, he has for the past year or
so. No,
I
know, but this card specifically,
he went 3-0. He
looked pretty good.
3 biggest fights on the card.
I'll because we don't want to spend a ton of time on at least the boxing or at least fighting altogether. I want to wrap up the Caleb Plant Canelo thing with, if you watch this fight and you're somebody who watched the first 4 rounds and you were like, they've got to run this back because Caleb Plant was in this fight. His jab looked sharp. He looked great. You don't know boxing. The amount of people I've seen and the things that I've read where they're like, oh, Caleb Plant put on a masterful performance.
People are saying to run that back.
People are saying that who else is Canelo going to fight because he's not going to move up in weight? Who else is he going to defend his title against? Who put up a decent performance? Canelo downloads all of his information, and you could progressively see this fight go the way that it went. He gets the finish in the 11th round.
It's not like it went to a decision. Like, he finished him.
No. He finished him, and the finish was coming for a while. Like, if you know combat sports, you're watching it happen, you're like, oh, he applied
more and more pressure.
These 2-punch combinations are becoming 3-punch combinations. 3 punches are becoming 4 punches. 4 punches are now becoming very heavy uppercuts and crosses. Before you know it, he's out. Quick stoppage on the ref's part, but anybody who wonders why, it's because the ref could see it as well. Masterclass by Canelo.
Where's Triple G at right now?
Triple G's not on anybody's radar, man.
Is he just too old now? Is that what happened? Or?
So his team has really mishandled his career for the most part, for the entirety of his career. When the whole Canelo thing happened, they fell apart after the first draw. Then he loses in the second fight, and they didn't pick up the reins. They didn't go on to make him fight guys like Daniel Jacobs. They didn't have him go and fight other people in other weight classes. They just sat on waiting for another offer from Canelo, and it just never happened.
But that's the thing where if you're not the A side, like, what would be the play? Canelo doesn't need another person to sell pay-per-views.
You're not even really a B side because nobody wants to fight you now.
Yeah, because he's too good that he's going to beat a lot of guys, I assume, right?
If I want to get to a title, I don't want to fight you because you're going to be the person I lose to.
The reason I bring him up is because when you say who's Canelo going to fight, it's like realistically his best competitor just happens to be a guy that they've already fought twice, unfortunately.
You say that, but then he moved up to 175 to fight Kovalev and blasted Kovalev. So that's why people are like, he doesn't need to go up and wait anymore.
I saw Andre Ward.
Andre Ward wouldn't come back.
I thought I'd seen there was a rumor about he shouldn't come back, right? Like, he has no chance of winning,
he's been gone for too long, and
he left kind of early though too.
He left early, but it was also he's another one where
this motherfucker knows I killed his family.
It's a situation where Andre Ward knew he had no money fights and was like, "Oh,
I can go to the booth.
I can go to the booth and make a ton of money and not have to worry about my career." Canelo is always going to be in a point where he's going to be the golden boy in the sport. So anybody coming up, they have to try and figure out how to fit Canelo into their boxing card, and it's probably not going to be the last time we see Caleb Plant fight. He's a young guy. He's got a great record. Took his first loss. We'll see what happens.
I didn't know a lot about his background, but I saw maybe it was a Rogan video. Oh, you know what? It was like a prediction video, and they had some clips from Rogan, and it was them talking about how I didn't know Caleb Plant came through the money team, and he was kind of the whipping boy, and that's why he ended up getting good.
Him especially, he's bigger and doesn't have a lot of bigger guys to train with. So when you get on a team like that, where look at the people that Floyd was fighting, that's really weird.
I don't know if anybody else can hear that. She's all right. This happens from time to time.
She's snoring?
This is she got a hairball. Normally...
We're not talking about a cat, people. We're talking about Bailey.
Yeah, normally I have to be like, yo, Bailey, chill, and she'll calm down.
I think she's good. Yeah, so when you think about him being like the whipping boy, he's one of the bigger guys, and Floyd was fighting bigger guys towards the end of his career. So it's like, hey, you're going to come in and do 24, 36 rounds with me throughout the week, and I'm just going to work you.
And he got better because of it. So props to him for putting in the work.
Big guy. I don't think it's the last that we see of him, but I do think that when you cross over to the UFC side, some great fights as well. What did you think of that card?
I mean, it was fantastic. Everybody's going to be talking about the opening fight, and you know, it started off at such a peak that it was like the next fight was good, but it just felt like a little bit of a come down spot. It was going to be tough. Unless you got finishes out of the next two, it was going to be a letdown. Rose, ultra competitive fight, but she showed that she is a champion with that 5th round. That takedown was so beautiful.
Just being able to take it to the next level.
Yeah, it was just incredible. And then, you know, like, Colby's in the same spot that like a John Fitch was, that like you're just alive at the wrong time, where the champion that's above you is just
He's got your number.
He's a little better, and you're going to play second fiddle, and you're going to ruin a lot of people's chances at that belt. You know, remember when John Fitch, he lost to GSP and then all of a sudden was on a run of like 11 fights in a row?
You've asked me this question in the past, and I get upset with you every fucking time.
Yeah, like you don't.
Stop doing it.
I know, actually specifically remember asking me.
John Fitch ruined a lot of careers.
But Colby's in that same exact spot where like Colby, and I know Dana said
worse
something
because he's going to punch the shit out of your face too. Like John Fitch will wrestle you. He's not punching you in the face. Colby's punching you in the face.
The problem for Colby here was like, I think Colby should have won that fight. Honestly, I think 10 rounds would tell us otherwise.
Yeah.
But I think there's a world where Colby is the better fighter. Colby's stand-up is very underrated. If he had more power on his punches, it would be significantly better. He also he doesn't have great head movement. I mean, that jab.
So doesn't have good head movement. He had better head movement in this fight than he did in the first fight, which isn't saying much because he had no head movement in the first fight. But a Colby with head movement and is establishing his wrestling, a dangerous fight for Kamaru.
He took the first 2 rounds off, and I think that's the biggest issue is that he took the first 2 rounds of. I took it as ring rust. You know, it's what was talked about before this, that Kamaru's been fighting this whole time. We haven't seen any Colby Covington, and I think it took those first 2 rounds to kind of get back into the motion, and then from 3 through 5, I think there's an argument that he won. I think the fight could have been a draw, honestly, and I think
I was on the fence about that.
I think it's almost a disservice to say it's not a draw. Because I think that it's going to be very hard for us to get a third fight between them, as opposed to if we would have gotten a draw, because we would have definitely gotten a third fight.
Yeah, because at this point, it kind of seems like Kamaru's... But here's the thing, man. That first fight's 2-2 going into that 5th round.
But in this fight should be... 2.5,
2.5.
Well, it should be 10-9, 10-8, and then 3 10-9s in a row for Colby potentially.
Yep.
And I am fine with it being a win for Kamaru, because I think Kamaru could have won any of those last 3 rounds as well.
It wasn't in a situation where anybody got robbed.
Colby just to me had better moments through the last 3 rounds potentially. I saw what he did there.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring this up for you, and just before we move on, just get a quick thought.
I don't know if you had seen that, Matt. We put out picks on Twitter this week.
Yeah.
I picked this fight correctly. I did.
I
got it.
You were money, dude.
So this Frankie Edgar, he's eating his toes. Like, literally, if...
he became a Ninja Turtle immediately.
If Cheeto Vera hadn't cut that toenail on his second toe for a while, like, I would believe that Frankie Edgar was just helping him out. Like... I would just believe they'd be being friends right now.
It's like, hey, this looks a little long.
Yeah,
let me take care of this for you.
Let me take a chop on that thing.
Oddly enough, I left my mouthpiece at home. Let me take care of this.
Let me get in there. He also looks like a guy from Planet of the Apes a little bit.
Oh, dude, there were so many. There's a reason why I wanted to do this. And it was because when I saw it, I was like, Ninja Turtles, guy from Star Wars, Jar Jar Binks. Looks like Jar Jar Binks.
Do his ears...
They go down.
Dude, oh my God, can you... There's a demon in Buffy that he looks... Dude, I need to find this. Just like Buffy demon, maybe? Yeah, and just like do Google image search. Because he's like a reoccurring character. Not that one. That guy, third in. Him.
Hold on. I'm going to bring it up.
Dude, I am telling you that this man, if you Google Buffy Demon, it's the third one, and I might just include this picture of Frankie Edgar and
just
the
add
picture
it.
of
These
this
are
guy.
my images, so they can't tell us
the
that they're
ears.
not ours.
It's the ears that drew me to it. Look at Frankie's fucking cauliflower ears, and then look
He's
at that
spot
guy's
on,
ears.
dude. Spot on. The way that his skin hangs off of his mouth too, bro. Yeah, sad weekend for Frankie Edgar. You hate to see it happen to a legend.
Clem, that's his name. Clem.
Man, it was tough to see that happen, but you called it, and honestly, if you're a fight fan, you kind of see this happening.
It's time for Frankie to hang it up. The reason I picked against him was I literally...
He was huge. You mentioned it.
Yeah. So,
it's huge.
Yeah, that was fucked up, for one. For two... It was the record. It's like Frankie's lost. He's lost 2 out of his last 7, 9? I think, or something. Or he's won 2 out of his last 7.
Yeah, he's like,
so. It's not going good. He looks slow. He looked tired in this. And that was my biggest takeaway. Is I felt like he looked very tired.
Frankie was
after the first round.
Frankie was never a big guy,
mm-hmm.
and the best thing, his best asset was his speed.
Yeah.
As soon as you lose that, this is the result. You don't have the head movement that you normally do. He took a lot of punishment in the shot, even before the front kick.
I was trying to figure this out, though, Matt. Do you think, because the comment you were referencing is, I said, like, how does Frankie always manage, now that he's even 2 weight classes down, to look like he's half the size of the people he fights?
Exactly.
Do you think that's more of a commentary on the growth of the sport in that, like, there are... it's hard to describe what I'm saying, like, because, like, 135ers now look like I'm trying to pull a name right now. The best band, the biggest name, Sean O'Malley.
Okay, yeah.
Sean O'Malley looks like, if you just saw him
you were
somewhere,
just
would
thinking
be
of
like
long guys, big guys.
Would be like a middleweight, not a middleweight, a lightweight now.
You're thinking like a Brian Ortega. Like, instead of being a 145er, he looks like he'd be at 170. Probably.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just a different game now, in that Frankie, there was a bigger mixture of sizes at 155 because there's nobody below that weight class that was really, that you weren't going, like, if you wanted to be in the UFC when Frankie first started going,
you had to fight at 155.
And then slowly we've introduced those other weight classes. But
do you know what I think, though, man? And it's not to cut you off. I think Frankie's always going to fight he's always going to be at the weight that he fights at, where a lot of these guys, they're ballooning up. Yeah. So if Frankie fights at 155, he weighs 156. Mm-hmm. If he's fighting at 145, probably weighs 145, 150.
And he's just in at 130.
If he's fighting at 135, he's probably coming in at 140.
That's fair.
Like, he's not swelling up like these guys are, where if he's going down to 145, Chito Vera's swelling up to 160, 170 easily. That's scary, dude.
Yeah,
you don't want to think about that.
Cheeto looked massive in that fight.
He's huge, and he's long. Like, that's the last thing you want to see.
Cheeto's got to stop giving away so many rounds, though. Like, he's not a fast.
He's never going to be a world beater, in my opinion.
One quick thing, combat sports related, before we move on to other stuff, get to our trailers. So, Deron Williams versus Frank Gore,
Utah Jazz legend, point guard. Darren Williams.
Versus the guy who I swear I thought was still on an NFL team.
I definitely thought he was still on the Jets this year.
Right.
For some reason. Yeah, I thought he was still playing.
He was never going to stop
because he's always playing. He's the Tom Brady. He's the running back Tom Brady, pretty much.
Kind of, but like has never won really anything.
But he's still around.
Yeah, facts.
Don't fucking
big facts.
Keep arguing with me, bro.
But they're fighting.
It's weird.
They're fighting on the Fury versus Paul.
Do they even seem
undercard.
like they should be in the same weight class?
Did not expect it. Let's do early picks. Who are you taking?
I got Frank Gore.
I got Deron Williams.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I think he's going to be more like mobile.
Fluid.
Yeah.
More mobile.
Yeah.
I just think Frank Gore's going to hit him once.
Frank Gore definitely looks like he hits hard.
That man's a truck.
But Frank Gore also looks like, remember when James Toney fought in the UFC?
Hey, fat James Toney, dude, take it easy.
It's just like, he kind of just looks like
Don't disrespect James Toney, bro. That man's a boxing legend. MMA, not so much. We don't need to discuss that.
He has a legendary moment in MMA.
Yeah, this is added to the Tommy Fury, Jake Paul card.
We should give James Toney more credit, too, because he did have the balls to take that ass whooping.
He also fought Randy Couture.
Yeah,
you're fighting a legend of the sport.
They put him in there with the guy who was literally fighting for championships in the UFC at that time.
You give him some goddamn respect.
No, you're right.
Dude.
You're right.
I'm just saying.
You're right.
You don't disrespect. That was also fat James Toney. So,
speaking
what it is.
of football, Matt, you haven't congratulated me yet.
Why would I do that?
I won the Super Bowl today.
Did you?
Yeah.
How? You're talking about Madden NFL 22.
I am. Yeah, I won
piece
the
of
Super
shit.
Bowl today.
Congratulations,
That's
man.
pretty sick, man.
Well, I gave you your gift already.
My running back, Jonathan Taylor, won the MVP.
Smart move to pick up the guy who... Did I see that he clocked like 23 miles per hour?
Yeah, he's fast
in
as
a game?
Yeah.
It's
He's really good in that
insane,
game. He's really good in that game.
So crazy.
Yeah, he did that by quarterback rookie of the year. You know, it was a real good year
Oh,
for
man.
You know, what team? Guess what team you think I am?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
No.
No?
No.
Colts?
No, I'll give you 2 more guesses.
Can you give me a division?
West.
West. Fuck. San Francisco 49ers.
No, I mean,
No.
good guess with Frank Gore on the clock. You want one more?
Yeah.
AFC.
The Chargers.
No.
No?
No, swing and a miss again. The
Denver
the
Broncos?
Las Vegas Raiders.
Get the fuck... Oh, my God. Why are you bringing up the Raiders with 2 minutes on the clock, you piece of shit? You're an asshole, man.
You saw what happened today, right? Or yesterday?
Yes.
The guy with the gun?
Arnett, dude?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh, bro. So, you know they've lost both of their first-round picks from 2020?
To both.
So, off-field issues. You talked about car being on fire. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I haven't seen. No, I haven't. I don't want to.
No. Not the accident video. It's the aftermath.
No,
so when
I
they
don't want to.
Good. I watched it. Unfortunately, there's too much shit on the internet. All right, I'll just say this, man. Las Vegas Raiders lose John Gruden to racism and a whole bunch of other homophobic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody
Not
else
saying
comes out of
I did that. Not saying that I agree, but Matt seems like he kind of does. He didn't disown it there.
What? No, he deserved to get fired.
Well, no, but you didn't disagree with what he said.
No, he's a piece of shit. I do disagree
I
with it.
just want to make that clear because you weren't disowning him.
Why the hell would I? I'm not going to agree. Fuck you, dude. You're a piece of shit. You're a virtuous. I hate you. Henry Ruggs killed a woman.
Killed the guy.
And then I'm forgetting his first name, but
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett. That's not it. That's definitely not. I know that's not it. He gets released yesterday for brandishing a gun. He had already been on IR for the last couple of weeks. You blame CTE?
Yes.
These guys are both rookies.
Or COVID. One of the two.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're both second-year players.
I'm pretty sure on every death certificate it either says COVID or CTE. So.
Yeah, or both, which is pretty fucked. Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. But you are bringing some light to the Raiders because you won the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, dude.
Congratulations.
Well, I'm glad in the virtual world it's going well for them.
No, they're doing really. Did you fire John Gruden?
So you know what I normally do?
You didn't disown him.
Well, what are you talking about? I didn't. He's not my coach. I was going to tell you.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I normally do Dick Bandy is the coach for anything. I was lazy this go around. I just did John Madden. Like it was
You're
just
an
set
asshole,
as John
dude.
Madden.
You're a
So
piece
John
of shit.
Madden is the coach of this team.
You should have done.
We did a fantasy draft though, so I don't actually have. But funny enough, you know who's on my team? Who I didn't disown? Yikes! This isn't good.
Oh. Who?
Henry Ruggs.
Oh no.
I thought about dropping him, but like
he's too valuable.
He has a 99 speed and he's like 22 years old. It's like
It's also-
he threw away his future. Doesn't mean I have.
Hey,
to.
in the game, that didn't happen. So, right, you're probably already a year in the future. You made it.
All right, let's keep this show on the road, Matt. On to our next little ditty that we got going on here. Our next little P Diddy that we're working
A
on.
little bit of puffy action.
Yeah, it's gonna get real puffy in here, like your nips.
Sean Combs.
So we're gonna.
I told you that in coincidence. I hate.
Oh, in coincidence?
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, that's good.
Hate you.
That's a real one. So let's moving on here.
Yeah.
So big pop culture news came out this week, Matt. So as always, The Rock's in the news, right? And we're gonna have a little bit of a quick.
You mean
note
he's not
to him
in a
later.
movie?
Well, he is going to be in a movie. We'll talk about that.
Because when he's not in the news, he's usually in a movie.
Well, he's in the news because of a movie.
But then he's usually in the movie because of the news.
It's a good point.
All right.
So if The Rock's in the news, there's always one other man that must be not too far behind. Am I right?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw a couple things out there. You tell me if I nailed it. He doesn't have any hair.
Nailed it.
Okay. He loves to wear muscle shirts.
Nailed it.
And he also loves muscle cars.
Triple nailed it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're talking Vin Diesel, baby.
And when we're talking Vin Diesel, you know we're talking family. So we thought it'd be appropriate. I don't know if the world has noticed, but there was a beautiful, just a beautiful Instagram post.
Sorry. I just started thinking about it.
From Vin to our man Dwayne.
Shit.
And we wanted to just come on here in case you hadn't heard it, and we wanted to read it for you. Or I
thought
I would
everybody
love to.
deserved to hear it.
So if you could just join us in a dramatic reading of Vin Diesel to Dwayne. I'm going to have to get into character here, so Matt's going to help me for a brief moment. Okay.
Me.
So real quick. Family. Deeper?
A little less.
Less? Not deep?
No.
Family.
Right there.
Family. Okay. My little brother Dwayne. That's fucked up. Like,
Call him my little bro.
That's fucked up.
My little bro.
Literally hostile.
Immediately.
4 words in.
Yep.
He emphasizes it by going triple period. What's that called? Is there like a scientific name for that?
Amperstam.
He amperstamps
No,
him.
that's not it.
He amber alerts him. The time has come. The world awaits the finale of Fast 10. I love those movies, but this man is so in the clouds at this point that
He thinks he's living
like,
the world of the Fast 10.
the entire world must stop and come together. So, my brother Dwayne, my little brother Dwayne, as you know, my children, they refer to you as Uncle Dwayne in my house.
A little less. You got a little Leroy on me. Take it easy. Just let's keep it Vin.
Okay, a little less. There is not a holiday that goes. There is not a holiday.
About to give me about 350. Better take it easy, buddy. All right, you had it. Come back into character, goddammit.
There's not a holiday that goes by. I can't get out of the Leroy thing on the by. It's really hard. All right. What family? Am I there? Family.
Can you bring it up? Why are you going all the way down like that?
Family.
Less blues, more bluegrass, dude. Come on.
Family.
A little harder.
Family.
There you go, right
Family.
there. That's it, right there.
Family.
Take it easy.
Family.
No, you're not. He's an idiot. We're going to get through this, I promise.
We're gonna get through this. There's not a holiday that goes by that they don't send well wishes. Why am I Southern? This is why you're the accent guy.
Do you want me to do it?
You want to try? Give it a go. Give us a quick line.
Family.
Family.
My little brother Dwayne. The time has come. The world awaits the finale of Fast 10. As you know, my children refer to you as Uncle Dwayne in my house.
Is that like a creepy thing?
Yeah, it's very weird.
Right?
Yeah, it's very weird.
Don't call me
Right.
uncle.
There's not a holiday that goes by that they and you don't send well wishes.
See, you sound like you're in Red Dead Redemption.
Do I? Am I going? Okay.
Do I?
Do I? But the time has come.
Good.
Legacy awaits. I told you years ago that I was going to fulfill my promise to Pablo.
To Pablo.
I swore.
No, can we just do to
Pablo. We're also talking about Paul Walker, people. For those of you who don't know Pablo.
We're saying it loud enough for him to hear us.
I swore that we would reach and manifest the best, fasten the finale that is 10. I say this out of love. That makes no sense.
Does that sentence make sense to anybody?
Nope.
I couldn't, from the second I've read this, I couldn't figure it out.
When he also said that they and you don't send well wishes, that's a double negative oxymoron somewhere in there. Anyway,
Wait, so hold on, let's reread that. There's not a holiday that goes by
that they and you don't send well wishes.
All
right, so here we go.
Jesus Christ.
I say this out of love, but you must show up. Do not leave the franchise idle. You have a very important role to play. Hobbs can't be played by no other. Again, double negative, dude. What are we doing here? This guy's got to go
It
back
can't
to grammar school.
not be played by any other.
I hope that you rise to the occasion and fulfill your destiny.
Do you remember
My
that
little brother Dwayne.
Do you remember that movie Legion?
I do fucking remember
It's
that
like
movie.
it's like Vin Diesel thinks that he's God and he's calling Paul Bettany like back to like
the Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
I
Like
understand.
he is. It's like you have a destiny, son, and
Your
you
only
have to come
purpose
back.
in life is for Fast 10.
It's so much still like, and this is hey, Vin, this is why Dwayne doesn't want to do movies with you anymore. Because you're like, Dwayne, you owe us your career is basically what this
you owe it
feels
to
like.
Paul Walker.
You owe it to Paul, you owe it to the Fast franchise, and you owe it to
the people,
to your big bro.
To my
to
kids.
your big bro.
Hey,
he should have signed this love big bro Vin.
Don't these two hate each other? So when he's like, my kids call you Uncle Dwayne in my house, that's so weird.
Yeah.
It's all weird.
It seems transparent in a way, no?
I don't know. It's really weird.
This was fun, dude.
Let's acknowledge the fact that that Vin Diesel's a fucking psychopath.
I hope he gets him back.
At this point, The Rock is gonna send back a video where he's like,
with Termana Tequila.
he's gonna slam it down. He's gonna be like,
my brother Vin.
He's gonna be like, big brother Vin, big little brother Vin.
Yeah. Like that's crazy. Because
I saw the Rock signal in the air.
Well, this is the whole problem, right? Like the fifth movie, like they have all these huge issues because like they can't lose fights to each other and shit. And this is all like this is literally it where he's like, okay, we're still at this. Like you're calling me little, bro. I'm double your size. We were watching that interview today. He was wearing lifts. Vin was wearing lifts.
He was also crying,
well,
like in non-vulnerable moments.
Who doesn't? Right?
But The Rock will probably come out in video in full Hobbs getup and be dope. The American badass is coming back, and you're just gonna be like, oh well, all right, there's the promo.
I hope this is just a rollout.
Do you think he comes back?
No.
Do you think they make Fast 10?
I mean, not with him. No.
Not with him. No.
I can't imagine. Well, although has The Rock been to space in a movie yet?
I mean, he's about to. He's gonna be Black Adam.
Fuck. Yeah, no, he's definitely not doing it.
What if he
doesn't need to. Like, and this is not like gonna be. You should have sent me a video. You know what? This is the perfect opportunity where Vin Diesel should have done a video on a yacht somewhere in like the DR.
Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of pictures of him being on yachts lately.
He should have had Termana
as like a peace offering.
Yes,
like, hey man, I spent the money.
Like he should have been drinking Termana. That's fucked up that he wasn't.
I'm not disagreeing with you there, man. So you're saying it's not enough to pull him back?
No, but I am saying let's get into some trailers. That was real fun, though. We should do more dramatic readings on here. I'm going to work on my accents.
Yeah, you need to, and maybe not go so southern next time.
Or we just find stuff that's
you were turning
strictly
into like,
southern.
You were turning into like a New Orleans saucier. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Well, we should just do some noir.
I used to be a saucier down in San Antone. I got some crayon apples with some collard greens. Hell yeah!
Let's do some noir. Next week we're gonna find some noir to read together.
I hate when you make me channel my inner artist.
Yeah.
It makes me feel so snug.
Yeah, is there any more dramatic readings that people
if you want us to do weird impressions that you think we can't do and we're gonna fucking surprise you, put them in the chat. Let us know what you think.
Please let us know.
But we're gonna go to the moment that everybody's been waiting for. The reason that the people stick around this long. We're gonna jump into some trailers. And how do you want to do this, dude? I'm gonna give it to you.
Well, I want to give it to you first.
I'm always taking it from you, dude. Jesus Christ.
Let's start with Boba Fett, dude.
All right, stop disrespecting my man, the Fett.
The Fett.
Fight. Boba Fett, dude.
What's the guy's name who does diners, drive-ins, and dives?
What?
Guy
Fieri?
Fiete.
Who?
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Bobby.
You're fucking with me right
Bobby
now.
Fett.
Right? Stop disrespecting the franchise. We watched the Boba Fett trailer.
You watched it.
We both did.
Sure.
You watched me get a hard on for the trailer.
You.
I wear my emotions on my sleeves.
Callback 6. You were suddenly a midnight.
Yeah, definitely.
It was nuts.
Threat level midnight. I think that I'm the only one that really can weigh in on this trailer because you are going to offer dick all for this. I am pretty excited for the Boba Fett series. Is it a movie or a series?
It's a series, dude.
I'm
a big fan, so I would know.
I like the deep relationship that we're going to get between he and Fennec Shank. We also get to understand what he's been up to since he lost his armor and got it back. It'll be pretty cool. He's kind of taken over Jabba the Hutt's empire, so he's going to get into some bad shenanigans, as we like to say. But did you get to finish Visions?
No.
I say, did you get a chance to?
I didn't have internet, dude. Like, that's not my fault.
For a day, dude. Shut the hell up.
It's like 4 days, to be fair.
Probably fair. Do you think that there's any chance that you watch this for love, for your love out?
Okay.
Out of the love for me.
Here's an honest question: should I watch The Fett or watch The Mandalorian?
Both.
You can't have
I can't.
your cake and eat it
Because
too.
Boba Fett's just season 3 of The Mandalorian.
That's a stupid saying, by the way. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too, but it's like, well, why would I have cake if I wasn't going to eat
Well,
it?
it's also like...
Unless we're talking about ass.
Why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? Type of thing.
Is that normally like an innuendo about like not marrying a woman? Yeah.
Yeah, but the weird thing is like you can't just go around milking somebody else's cow.
Who's to say?
You've ever tried to...
Do you think like security systems in your home being so available that like dudes were just rolling up and milking people's cows?
I would imagine so.
Yeah, me too.
That's the only reason I could imagine that farmers always have double barrel shotguns.
You would never have to go thirsty if you live near enough farms.
I don't like milk, so it doesn't really solve my problem.
But you like teats.
Yeah, it doesn't... It's a 50-50 thing, though.
On teats?
Yeah.
Or taste?
No. So, like, I'm not going to suck a teat to get milk.
What would you suck a teat for?
Pleasure.
Okay.
For both me and the teat.
But
Whoever's in charge of the teat.
Have we ever found out? This is a weird conversation. Do cows enjoy being milked?
No,
They do. It's like a release, right?
No, they don't, dude.
Why not?
But
They're all backed up.
No,
they
dude,
just got
some
milked.
sick son of a bitch went underneath a cow and started sucking its udders and was like, "Ooh, what's the stuff coming out?" And we've been violating cows ever since.
Is it a thing that we can find out who the first person to ever milk a cow was?
Nope.
That's just not documented.
Nope. Google wasn't invented back then.
Here's an idea. Put a pin in it. We need to think of more things that have not been claimed as like who the first person to ever do it was, and say that we're related. So I'm thinking like
I don't want to be related to this guy.
I'm thinking my great.
You want to be related to the guy who's sucking cow udders, dude?
If he was the first one who provided us all with stronger bones, Matt.
He's a pervert, dude.
Yeah, but you have strong bones because of that person.
I don't drink milk, so no, I don't have strong bones.
I know for damn well you've drank milk at some point, dude.
Not once, not ever. My mom's an active listener of this show. Hit us in the chat, Ma, if you know how to use the chat in the comments. Tell us that I've never drinking milk.
Yeah, just say hello.
Figure it out.
Please clarify for me that you do like cheese, right?
Love cheese. What? That has nothing to do with milk.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it totally does. Derry.
Who's Derry?
Yeah, Derry is a town in it. Well, it's also just a town in Maine.
Yeah, I was going to say
Maine. Dude, we are just
Maine.
burning time right now. Hellbound. What was that trailer you tried to make me watch? What the fuck? That anime shit you made me watch, dude?
Anything that has subtitles, Lenny just associates with being
some anime shit.
It was a Chinese movie.
Ah,
yeah,
anime.
Don't disrespect the Chinese culture, dude. No, we don't need to talk about Hellbound.
Let's just cap this thing off with a little bit of Morbius.
Let's jump into Morbius. That's the only one that really matters. I got a bone to pick with you because you said, "Who the hell is really a fan of Jared Leto?" Where the fuck do you get off, dude?
You're a fan of him?
Fuck yeah. You're not?
No, not really.
Why not? Name one bad thing he's done. And this is easy, actually.
I was going to say the Joker.
This is really easy. No. He didn't get a fair shake. Why is that a saying? He didn't get a fair shake.
It's got to be like a carnival thing.
Why?
Well, it's like a...
Carnivals haven't always been around, dude.
Like, he was doing a game at the carnival, and they were like, hey, give him another shot. He didn't get a fair shake.
Dude, there's a lot of sayings that just don't make sense to me, bro. Like, screwed the pooch. Some guy's like, yo, you fucked a dog? You screwed up.
Yeah, that's, like, messed up. Yeah, that's really messed up. Because, like, you say that when you just screwed something up. So it's like, whoops, tripped, fell, fucked my dog. It's like, doesn't make sense.
It's not the same thing. But what's your beef with Jared Leto, man? I think that in The Joker, I think they filmed him in a completely different light, and we just didn't get to see it.
He sent, like, condoms and shit to his coworkers. And they were, like, used.
They
like,
do that. They do that in the Olympics. Wait, what?
Yeah, he was sending, like, dead rats and condoms to his coworkers, dude.
The rats is a weird thing, but the condoms thing could just be
used condoms.
Like, hey, I want you to know I'm interested. Here's my peace offering.
I'm not interested.
Use it as you will. No, he's weird. I get that. He's fucking weird.
And I say this as a person, like, I saw 30 Seconds to Mars play live quite a bit in the mid-2000s, Matt. I went to their concerts several times. Okay. He's just a little pompous. He's a little full of himself.
He's very snazzy.
He thinks he's, like, the most fucking important person ever to grace the earth.
Don't most people in Hollywood, though?
Sure, that's fair.
Like,
That's
don't generalize. Like, I could think of a couple of people that you really love.
I'm racist against Jared Leto.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, actually. So you are in or out as with him as being Morbius in the Marvel Universe?
I felt mostly out on this. I don't know how you felt about it. Like, it was okay, but he seems OP, right?
He
like,
seems OP. I just really don't understand what we're doing with the movie. Which has kind of been my beef with a lot of stuff that I've watched lately.
It's just it's so heavy-handed that it's just a Sinister Six setup.
Yep.
And all of these movies that we're going to get aren't going to have a lot of point to them, even like Venom 2 for that matter, where they're going to be perfectly fine as far as movies. We're going to watch them and probably come away with mostly passable scores or mediocre scores, but it's all to get to the next one.
It's just associated in the overall universe.
Yeah,
that just kind of seems.
Well, because this trailer, you give me 2 minutes of the trailer, and in that 2 minutes, you have a Venom reference, and you have Michael Keaton returning as, was it Hawkeye? What's his name?
No, they didn't say.
You don't care to tell me, dude? I know you know.
No, I know who it is.
The Click Commander.
No, I'm not fucking. You're an idiot. It's a really good nickname, actually.
That's Jay and Silent Bob.
No, dude, they haven't mentioned who Michael Keaton is, and we don't even know for sure if that's him in the freaking trailer.
Motherfucker, dude.
We don't even know.
You don't know if that's him, dude, who's on the IMDb?
No, dude, it could be a deep fake, man.
Yeah,
like you never know.
They could have de-aged him.
You never know, man.
Yeah,
I've seen JFK show up in video games, so JFK. Sorry.
JFK. That's Chiefs. That's Chiefs keys.
Because I meant Michael Keaton, but JFK. No, I like the trailer only because I like what they're doing with the character.
Did Morbius always fly? Actually, okay. So Morbius used to do the thing where he just turned into a bat.
He used to do the bat thing, like a swarm of bats.
So in this, they're not going to have him turn into a bat.
I think they will. They're just not showing it. Because they showed how he's going to fly.
See him fly, though. He looks stupid when he was flying.
Well, so I don't think that's how he's actually going to fly, though. I think that's just them showing him how he can manipulate his powers.
Okay.
Because I think the way that he's going to fly is like bat style.
Like he should turn into bats and then come away from being bats.
And then like form into bats like Vlad the Impaler.
Sick.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, you got that. So I am going to go up with it. I don't think that the movie is, to your point, going to be anything special. I do think it's just all the pieces to the puzzle that are going to help us get to the multiverse of the Spider-Verse.
What do you think is going to turn him bad?
He's going to get horny and want blood.
See, I assumed he's going to get horny and that chick that he's with is going to die, and it's going to make him like a dark, angry fucker.
No, so I think that his lust for blood, his lust for poon, and then just his development of his powers, it's going to be good guy gone bad type thing. Because they show him being the person who saves lives, and then he's developing or evolving into this person who takes lives.
I think it would have sounded cooler if you had said his taste for tang.
See, you know me so much better than I know myself, dude.
Like, taste for poon is good, but taste for tang, dude.
Could we maybe not give me notes in the middle of the damn show?
Well, it's in the moment coaching.
Not in the middle of the damn show, dude. We're on limited amount of time.
We are running.
But that pretty much just wraps it up for us in trailers, man. Did we want to take some time to maybe jump into other things that we've watched?
Yeah, so I already hit you with one of them. I can tell you something I didn't watch that I'll just spend literally a second on. So I came home last night. I was a little intoxicated. I'm eating some popcorn when I got home.
Popcorn?
Yeah, and I was going through YouTube trying to find something to watch on my TV. And you know how like YouTube has the like fireplace videos and things like that you can watch, like some ambient noise things.
Yep.
For whatever reason, in my algorithm, something came up and it was like, fall asleep within 1 minute with sounds of heavy rain. And I found this funny because it's a very bold claim.
I'm going to put you to sleep in 1 minute.
Like, they told me they were going to put me into sleep in 1 minute. And what I found interesting about this, Matt, is how long do you think the video was?
3 minutes long.
An hour. It was 10 hours. No, it wasn't an hour. It was 10 hours. A 10-hour video, but they claim in the headline on the thumbnail to put me to sleep within 1 minute.
Because maybe it's only 1 minute of sounds that are just being looped.
Sure, but if I only need 1 minute, why'd you give me 10 hours of a loop?
Because that 1 minute could be 1 minute to anybody.
So you're saying a minute's different to everybody?
Yeah.
Cool, that's super meta.
Isn't
it just dumb? Like, that's just was like, I didn't even watch it.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
This is what I haven't watched.
Like if it was a make me fall asleep within 1 minute and it was a 3 minute video, I would have hated it. The fact that it's 10 hours long makes me feel like it's fraudulent.
The only other thing I did watch is Night Teeth on Netflix.
Yeah. Quick synopsis of that, or what you thought of it?
So it's just like a kind of stoner, like loser dude who needs to make some money, so he works for a night for his brother's like chauffeur service, but ends up with these two girls in his car, who make them go from like house to, or around the city to different bosses, like basically mob bosses around the city,
cleaning up the trash,
and they're killing the different mob bosses. But it's like a trippy, fun movie. It's good.
I hate when you show me trailers that I mock you for in the beginning, and then by the end I'm like, oh shit, I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, I think the trailer drew me in. So I was scrolling through Netflix, and then like they played the trailer in real time when you stop on like the thumbnail, right? And like I was like, wait, this has kind of a cool feel, like like the music, the ambiance.
It almost had like a Jonah Hill the Sitter vibe.
Okay.
Right? Kind of.
I've seen the movie.
Like
I don't
living
remember
out
like
of the
the
van?
trailer.
Ah, come on, man. When they're driving from place to place to pick up all the pieces. God damn it, Lenny.
So it does. I think it's the universe that I like, though. Like it's like a very like so it's like vampires and like different like things like that. Yeah. There's some interesting weapons. It's cool. Yeah.
I just thought that the cast was pretty interesting, and then Netflix just kind of wowing me with some of the content that they're putting out. Yeah. I don't want to spend too much time on what I watched because you didn't watch what I watched, but I got out, put in some work, and had the opportunity to catch Eternals and Dune, as well as the My Hero Academia World's Home Mission.
Here's an issue real quick with Dune. We can start there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't like that they didn't market it as part one to a bigger franchise, which and everybody's tried to tell me afterwards, like, well, like anybody who knows anything about the books knows there's like 6 books, so it's not that crazy that they would have multiple movies. But it's like, that's not my fucking point. My point is, for one, they did make a movie of this already, and it was one fucking movie. And how many people actually read the book? And now you've just told people, you tell them at the very beginning of the movie, part 1. Like, fuck you, dude, because you could have told me the whole time. Suck on a crowbar,
dude, because that shouldn't be how you market a movie.
Yeah.
I should know ahead of time
that there's not going to be finality to it. Yeah.
Because the way, I'm going to say it right now, the way that it ends is infuriating.
Yeah.
To go through a 2 hour in 37 minutes, I think is what it is. To get to the end of a movie like that and have no finality, insane to me. What I'll say about the 3 movies that I've watched, though, and I'm going to try to stay away from spoilers, is there is a theme of, I've seen this before, where, let's take Eternals, for instance, a team of people coming together, and there's a twist at the end that almost seems too obvious. Dune, for not having finality, it's also one of those movies where you're like, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen. Oh, okay, cool.
I think you're going into that movie for the visuals and like the science fiction aspect to it. I know it's like very heavy science fiction.
Give me something that makes a little bit more sense that's not too predictable. And then the anime movie, My Hero Academia movie that we watched, I'm going to go ahead and say I was disappointed. Of the 3 movies that have come out, this is easily the 4th best one. Like, I would give a blank on the 3rd. Because me and Archer talked a little bit about it when he came on. And shout out to him. We're going to be on his show. Will this be out? Yeah, we're going to be on the show this Thursday.
Yeah, so check. Yeah, thank you for reminding me.
Gotcha. Hey, Archer, live. We're going to be on it this Thursday.
Thursday night at 8.
Boom. But I have such an issue with a movie or a show that gives you doesn't give you great story, but gives you a storyline and then just goes, hey, 5 minutes before it ends, the bad guy just loses the plot. And we've talked about this before about, oh, there's no way that you can beat the bad guy other than just doing something that's completely insane. Where I'm going to spoil this movie in 3, 2, 1. This movie ends the same way that the other 2 movies have, where they can't beat the bad guy, so the only way they can beat him is to go beyond. You know what that means, Len?
No idea.
That means be stronger than what you actually are.
So just making up fake rules.
In the last 5 minutes of the fight so that you can win.
Like fake powers and rules and shit.
Pretty much just making it like, oh, this guy is so OP, it's crazy, you're not going to be able to beat him. Oh, so you something just flips. You just know that you have to win and you're going to win. And this is the 3rd time that they've done this with these movies.
Isn't that
and they're not canon.
Isn't that just kind of like going Super Saiyan, though?
Don't do that. There's not enough time in the day to fucking do what you just did, dude. Screw you. What do the people have to look forward to this week? Piece of shit.
Yeah, really quick. We got a couple things coming out this weekend. Today is Disney Day, apparently, so I think Shang-Chi is on. Shang-Chi is on Disney Plus, baby. Disney Plus, so that's pretty dope.
Definitely going to be watching that.
I'm going to watch it again. That movie's fucking awesome. Yep. And then we get... The one movie I do know comes out this weekend is Red Notice on Netflix. So kind of cool. We're getting like a blockbuster level movie coming out to a streaming platform.
It's gonna be awesome.
However, let's not hold our breath on like some of the blockbusters that do. Like I think some of the weakest work at Netflix is the blockbuster stuff that comes.
The ones that get promoted as blockbusters don't always hold up.
Yeah.
But definitely something that we're going to be watching. Let us know what's going to be catching your interest for the Disney Plus Day.
Is this weekend Holloway versus...
Ooh, I was supposed to look that up. Give me 1 second.
It's Holloway versus Rodriguez, right?
It's supposed to be, but I thought Yair pulled out. No, yeah, you're spot on, dude.
Yeah, so I'm taking Max Holloway.
I'm in on this. Yair Rodriguez has never been able to go into the dark water and the deep places.
100% great fight to check out. These are two like young, not up and coming, obviously pretty well established.
Perennial contenders.
But like great fighters. Definitely check that out. But my guy is going to be Max Holloway.
Yeah, I got Max Holloway winning this one.
Been a fucking awesome week. Sorry for the gap in activity. Definitely check out that audio episode we dropped. And we're going to put some clips out from it still. I've been a little lazy if I'm being completely transparent.
We've been busy. Shit comes up.
It happens.
People get the flu.
Dude, this has been fucking dope.
It's been a good episode.
I've missed you, man. It's been great to get back
man, we're going to kiss and hug it out off camera.
Yeah, more than that.
But if you want to maybe get the BTS photos or videos, catch us on Instagram at For Those With Good Taste. But you can also hashtag on the twits.
Yeah, that's at Good Taste Live on Twitter. We're going to be putting a better habit of getting fight pics out on there, stuff like that. Have some funny one-liners maybe too.
So make sure to jump over to our YouTube channel, like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell everybody about it. And make sure to check us out this week on Hey Archer, 8 p.m. this Thursday. We're going to be hitting them live, answering all the tough questions. You're going to have to be there.
All right. And also just really quick, hit us with a quick like, comment, share, subscribe. Any of that stuff you can do. Tell a friend as well. And until next week.
Give us a fair shake.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll see you guys next time.
I fell into my dog. Whoops.
Screw the pooch. We're out of here. Love you guys.
Peace.
For those with good taste.